Roman Reigns set to work fewer matches in WWE from now on, and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for May 9th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Following another victory over Seth Rollins at WrestleMania Backlash, Cody Rhodes would talk backstage about what is next for him in WWE. I said it at the end. I did the generic symbol for I want the belt. I want the title because it's real. That's what I want. And to be able to get two on him, I think we can walk away on this one. I really think Seth's an amazing superstar / wrestler. I absolutely do. I can't wait to see what he'll do next. He's been to the top of the mountain, he's kicked my face in, just beat me half to death, but not actually beat me. So what he does now, good luck. Absolutely good luck. I'm moving forward. I'm moving on. I'm very excited to see what that is. Maybe the WWE fans, the WWE universe, pro wrestling fans, whatever we're saying, they can tell me, but I'm looking forward to it. Talking about her previous feud in AEW with Britt Baker, Women's Champion Thunder Rosa compared that rivalry to the one between Steve Austin and The Rock. Every match that we had, it escalated to the next level. At first, we had a match that was a regular match at Beach Break. Then, we had the tag matches and the blow-off lights out. The rivalry that we had, it's real. Now that I took the title from her, it's not something that is going to end. It's like The Rock and Stone Cold, something similar, or Trish and Lita, something of that sort, something that is never going to end. Our matches were definitely more physical in terms of female wrestling. We pushed a lot of boundaries that I don't think people were used to seeing women in the mainstream media doing something of that sort, especially on the last one. I probably watched it 10 times, and I cannot tell you the amount of pain that everyone that was part of the match went through, from the wrestlers to the referees. It was very intense, and we had an opportunity to elevate women's wrestling to another level with it. On the Swerve City podcast, AEW President Tony Khan revealed what he looks for in talent when bringing them into the company. Well, there's a lot of things. First of all, when you look at their body of work coming in, sometimes you get athletes, like Satnam Singh is a great example, or Jade Cargill, where they didn't have prior experience in pro wrestling, but they were great athletes. Actually, both of them played basketball at a high level. I thought they were worth a gamble. We typically don't take people in who don't have a lot of prior wrestling experience. We don't train wrestlers from scratch here. It's a different business model. There are a lot of great people, but for us, we kind of pick our spots when it comes to that thing, because we're not as much about centralized training all week long. We come together like locusts in a different city every week, and then we go our separate ways. I think for us, having a lot of prior wrestling experience is really important. So for example, Swerve is somebody I'd seen wrestle in different promotions, and I really loved your stuff. I'd seen a lot of your matches before you came in. Some other people might not have as much experience as you, and might not have had as much success, or really might not be as far along or as developed or as good. There's other people where it's hard to track them down. Speaking on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, ROH TV champion Samoa Joe touched on the possibility of reigniting old rivalries with the likes of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. I mean, obviously me and Punk have been skirting around this issue for a while, and I think we can get it settled. Danielson, anytime I step in the ring with him, we get down. Up and down the roster, when you talk about guys I've worked with in Ring of Honor that I'm currently on the roster with now in AEW and Ring of Honor, any of those guys, it's wide open. Talking about the upcoming Forbidden Door pay-per-view from AEW in New Japan, Eric Bischoff expressed doubt on his Strictly Business podcast that this event will grow the fan base. How is merging a television property that's only getting 200,000 viewers a week with AEW? How is that going to increase or attract the casual viewer that AEW doesn't have? I don't know. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea. I kind of dig the idea from a wrestling fan's perspective, and I've spent a lot of time in Japan and have a lot of good memories and experiences working with New Japan. I love the Japanese style of wrestling, but that doesn't mean it's going to grow an audience. One half of the Raw Tag Team Champions and RK Bro, Matt Riddle, spoke with Catch Club about his team with Randy Orton, revealing what the Viper has taught him during this time as a tandem. But then with Randy, I learned how to do less and get the most out of it. Like, I think the last person that interviewed me said, you know, you get beat up and you do this and the crowd's going crazy for Randy. Then you finally tag him and all Randy has to do is boom, 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 and then the crowd goes crazy. That's what they're waiting for. But when I tagged with Pete, I would have never had that kind of hot tag. It would have been, we would have received a pop and done a bunch of moves, but it doesn't have the same build, you know? And that's something Randy has really taught me how to do, is how to build something. How to like tell that story, because if you do it right, you can do a lot less work and get way more of a reaction from it. Being one of the long-standing active groups in WWE, the New Day has taken on many iterations and forms, as Kofi Kingston recalled how this came to be on Out of Character. When we were given the gimmick of positivity preaching preachers, I'll never forget it. We had been going back and forth with Vince about what we wanted to be. We wanted to be some guys who were not pleased with our positions in the company. He's like, okay, well, how about you guys be preachers? And you guys come out here and there's gospel music. We're just sitting there and we know that the people are going to reject this idea because nobody comes to WWE to go to church. But this is what he wanted us to do. We told him, whatever you give us, we'll make it succeed because of our chemistry. We believe in it. It's like, all right, I'm going to put that to the test. You guys are going to be positivity preaching preachers. Go get it over. We're just like, all right, this is our chance, and we supported each other. There were a lot of people who took a big dump on our aspirations. You know, they didn't believe in us. They made fun of us when we were just trying to get over. But now you fast forward, and those same people have come back around, and they admitted that they were wrong. With WWE set to hold their Money in the Bank pay-per-view on July 2nd at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, SummerSlam is another big event set for July 30th at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Now, UFC is set to run shows those 2 days, as this was discussed on Wrestling Observer Radio. It's interesting because July 2nd and July 30th, there's going to be a big UFC pay-per-view. The second especially. It's big UFC against a Stadium WWE head-to-head. On the 30th, they're in different cities, but still a head-to-head pay-per-view. It's not like years ago, where this would have been death to WWE. The same weekend used to hurt WWE badly, but the same night would have. I don't want to say killed them, but it would have taken probably 15-20% off, maybe more. Now, a WWE pay-per-view is not a money expenditure, so it's not like you're going, I've already spent $40 on a pay-per-view on a Saturday night, do we do that again on a Sunday? Following her loss of the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania Backlash, Charlotte Flair was reported to have suffered a fractured radius in her I Quit match against Ronda Rousey. Flair recently revealed that she is going to be getting married to AEW star Andrade, as this appears to be WWE's way of writing her off programming for the time. Charlotte told BT Sport regarding the wedding that, "We have a date, it's this summer in Mexico. I have my dress. I think Andrade would be a little angry if I walked down the aisle with my title." He was like, "Mommy, for the wedding, I do not want your hair to look like Charlotte." I was like, what does that mean? Just less makeup, he likes the fresh face. Also on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer would speak about the current schedule of Roman Reigns in WWE, as it seems the Tribal Chief will work fewer matches for the company going forward. He actually doesn't work a lot of television matches. He is working 20-minute house show matches with Drew McIntyre all the time. Last week, when he went to the UK, they only brought him in for London and Paris. He has also done that before. It was one of those things where he'll go for a day or two, but he's not going to go for 2 weeks. More power to you. If you can leverage that and still make good money, that's a good deal. It was also revealed that Roman Reigns has a new contract. It's not it for him, but the situation is that he got a new deal, and the new deal is for far less dates. So he's not going to be doing, I don't know how many house shows he'll be doing, but it's going to be far less house shows than he is doing now.
I know. Trust me, I already know. You sitting there thinking like, hold up. Wasn't he just in the main event a few hours ago? And he's already back in the gym? I mean, what you expect, huh? This God mode. This God tier, this what the best of the best do. Right now, Tom Brady's throwing the ball. Michael Jordan's probably still on the court shooting the ball. It's what the best of the best do. Hey, let's put it this way. You can't just go out and pick greatness off the tree. You understand? And you're probably thinking, my God, that match, that 6-man main event tag match, good God. It was just filled with future Hall of Famers, just filled with future Hall of Famers. Well, hold up. We have Riddle in there too, but you know what I'm saying? He's gonna learn. He's gonna learn. But what do you think was gonna happen? Let me tell you this, all right? When it comes to the bloodline, when it counts, you can count on us. I don't care who's in there. You can put Randy Orton with anybody. You can put Drew McIntyre with anybody. Put John Cena in there. Throw The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, anybody in the bloodline is gonna smash them every single time. That's already. But what's in my brain right now? What's got your tribal chief in here right now? What if that's the last 6-man tag you ever see the bloodline do? I mean, I believe when it comes to TV and it being broadcast for the entire world to see, that's only the second one. And y'all are freaking out right now. Don't worry, the tribal chief loves you. I'm not going anywhere. Unless I am, who knows? Anyways, but man, what if that's the last one? Because I mean, look at it. There's so much riding on us. We have all the titles. We're the very best at what we do. I'm the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. I'm the greatest of all time. The Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions in the history of the WWE, the greatest of their generation, of the entirety of the business. It goes without being said that everything supports it. But what if that's the last time you see us? Do what nobody can do. That's the island of relevancy right there. People, it's not a gimmick. This ain't just something we're putting on shirts and selling. No, this is as real as it gets, because anybody that sits at the table, anybody that tries to step up, anybody that's, near us, they automatically become better. You've been seeing this. The proof is in. Whether you like it or not, you love it. And we already know you respect it because you acknowledge it everywhere we go. But think about that. If that's the last one, we already know you're gonna miss us. Because we're the greatest to ever do it. And it's because we're the bloodline. And we're the ones. Yes, sir.